Greetings, all you Jackson Jennets, and welcome to your daily dose of donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you the BugCap after the 16-13 thrilling win for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Baltimore Ravens at Baltimore. Bug, how are we doing?
Awesome donkey.
As you hear there. First, we got to give a huge prayer and uplifting thoughts to Damar Hamlin and all his family. That's literally the scariest moment I've ever seen on a football field is when you're hearing them talk about they're giving someone CPR. Just look at the players and you knew it's the worst thing you've ever seen. These guys are trained to watch people break bones, keep walking. They see people get paralyzed, they keep walking. This was just something different and you knew from the get-go. Concern has to be there all around. I mean, Damar Hamlin, a kid who went to Pitt, I remember when he was getting recruited by Pitt, going and watching some of his highlight films from when he played at Central Catholic. Just a guy I've been rooting for now for a long time, and sad to see that happen to anybody out there, but just the looks in the people's eyes, just you knew that game couldn't be played. The NFL ends up doing the right thing, postponing that game. Who knows how they're going to make up the rest of the problem, but just have to give a huge prayer to Damar Hamlin out there because honestly, the scariest thing I've ever seen in a football field was that night. And I have to say, I'm kind of sad that they decided to have that on an ESPN ABC game because I decided to watch it. If it was on ESPN, I wouldn't have. But, man, nothing but prayers for Damar Hamlin, huh, Bug?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But let's get to a more happy note. We have to talk about the Steelers keeping playoff hopes alive as Miami does us another favor, losing again. Now the Steelers have a chance because the Baltimore game actually means something, and that was important. We get into it. Defense played pretty good. I mean, compared to what we did last time, we really shut the Ravens down. Again, no real forcing of turnovers till the last drive where Minka comes up with the interception to seal it. And when you look at the running stats, I mean, we're still giving up 5.5 yards a carry to Dobbins. It's just the Ravens didn't get to run the ball enough times as the defense was able to get off the field on those third down plays. Really, no receiving at all happened. I mean, I know Likely caught the touchdown after a terrible penalty call on Cam Hayward that could have been all we were talking about if the Steelers don't come back, is the Baltimore Raven guy pulling Cam Hayward back down onto the pile to draw a 15-yard penalty after that ends up leading to the only touchdown for the Ravens on, I believe, the very next play. That was the end of the half. We were about to hold them to a field goal. That stuff can't happen. Officials need to be held accountable, and there has to be some way for, even if it's just one or two challenges a game, you have to be able to challenge a call like that, don't you think, Bug?
Yeah, definitely. You need to.
Yeah, that could have been a game-changing moment, but can't really complain what the defense did there. They played pretty good all day, holding Huntley to only 6 yards an attempt. He completed about 70% of his passes. The big scary part for me was you knew Andrews was going to get the football, and there were so many third downs or big plays where we let Mark Andrews convert them. Luckily, Baltimore does not score points without Lamar Jackson, and that's what happened today. And luckily for us, it didn't come down to the kicking game like my X factor was during Steelers talk, as Tucker didn't get to try enough field goals because Boswell had a pretty big miss in this game. But all in all, that's really the low point on special teams was the big miss by Boswell. And I believe Justice Hill also had a big kick return. So again, the special teams struggling. I think the defense played okay. I mean, the yards per carry against Baltimore wasn't very good. But when you consider, really, we stopped them on the big downs and didn't let them score. That's kind of the way the Steelers defense is built now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We should team up.
Yeah, you need to talk a little louder if you want the people to hear you there. You sound like a whispering mouse there, Bug.
Whoa.
Just a little whispering mouse. Now let's get to the offensive side of the football. Move the ball pretty good again. Scoring drives over 50% of the time again. Ending too many drives and field goals again. But again, as I just said for the sixth time, again, for some reason that's my word today, the Steelers offense puts it together on the most meaningful drive. But prior to that, penalties and lack of conversions is what shot him in the foot. Let's start with the first drive where Freiermuth gets an unexcusable, the way they're running the ball, 3 yards they're going to get in 3 plays. Freiermuth gets a false start. You can't have that. So we decide to throw a one-on-one jump ball to George Pickens. He doesn't come down with it. These guys need to make those plays. You need to come down with that football. Later in the game, we have Deontay Johnson catching a ball again, but only getting 1 foot down in bounds. We have George Pickens on a comeback route catching the ball, but guess what? He stepped out of bounds first, so the catch doesn't happen. These little, let's call them procedural or focus things, the Steelers can't keep making these mistakes if they want to take the next step forward. Does that seem fair, Bug?
I guess so.
You guess so? But there was some brilliance here. I mean, you get through the plethora of mediocre play calling by Matt Canada, which, by the way, calling it mediocre now is a huge upgrade. He's almost to Sunday level. He's still on Saturdays. I'm not sure how that figures into the future because I don't know if he can get to Sunday level. But we're getting a lot closer on the offensive side of things. There was some nice little trickery. There was a jet sweep to Jaylen Warren. When I saw both Najee and Jaylen Warren out there, I was like, oh gosh, I don't think this is going to end well. Then we get a pretty little jet sweep that goes for 30 yards, and that was a pretty thing to see, was it not?
Definitely.
Yeah. Now let's get to that last drive in the fourth quarter. Kenny Pickett again, about a couple minutes to go. You know this drive's going to end with about a minute to go. Starts leading the Steelers down the field, just the way KP8 seems to do right now with that newfangled helmet that apparently, because it's wider as the eye opening, he can now see the whole universe with this helmet on. And it protects his noggin pretty good. Kenny Pickett. He's throwing dimes out there. I mean, that pass to Sims, great route by Sims, great catch by Sims, and Kenny Pickett fitting it in the littlest of windows. Beautiful to see. But we're not done yet because that just sets us up in scoring range. And right now it's looking like the Chris Boswell miss might be the thing that looms largest in this football game. But it's not. We get a little broken play. Kenny scrambles out to the left. Najee sees it. Najee breaks towards the end zone. Kenny throws the ball. Perfect place. Najee puts them hands up there. Brings it down. Steelers touchdown. Steelers take the lead. And how does it end? Steelers win.
Steelers win.
Yes, they do. Steelers win. And that's what you wanted to see. That's what was great about this game. The defense did their thing. The special teams didn't lose the game. And the offense comes up clutch. That's what people have been waiting for. That's what they want to see. And that's what makes you believe in a quarterback is when they come up clutch. Some things I want to point out there. Seeing TJ Watt finally get a sack was really nice, really close to a strip sack out there. Watching Minkah end the game. You know what? 6 interceptions. He's having a quietly good season out there on the back end, doing things right. Seeing Mark Robinson get his first real action and be a good run stuffer. Seeing Robert Spillane look like the best linebacker when all you have to do is play downhill and he doesn't have to cover anyone. Spillane's definitely the best fit for that. Watching the Steelers schematically try to stop the Ravens was good. I mean, still watching Dobbins run for 5 yards of carry against a bare front. A little bit concerning, but we'll get over that. And then on the offensive side, Pickett another finish of a drive. The receiver's doing a little better, although I think you can credit kind of a drop to all 3 big ones, Freiermuth, DJ by not catching it inbounds, and Pickens. But the running game, watching Najee Harris run like an angry man was awesome to see. 5 yards of carry, finally a 100-yard game. I love to see that. If that Najee shows up every game, that's going to be great for the Steelers. Watching Jaylen Warren be that impressive change of pace back was just something to see, wasn't it, Bugga? And how hyped were you when the Steelers scored that touchdown? Because I know how hyped this house was.
Yelling and screaming.
Yeah, everybody was running around this house yelling and screaming. That's my take of the game. Bug, anything you want to add?
Not really.
Not really, Well, do you have a shout out this week?
Definitely.
Who?
Freiermuth.
That's a odd one. Thought you were going to give it to Kenny or Najee, but you know what? That's fine. Fair enough. You give it to whoever you want. Any closing thoughts from you, Bug Boo, before we tell them who I am?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. Well, I am the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of donkey with Ginger's a YouTube channel where you're going to catch this content, all this fun stuff. Leave us a like, follow, tell us what you think about it. He's Bugaboo. He doesn't have socials because that's not the way this works. But Steelers fans, we're still in it. We still got a chance. So wave him if you got him.
Let's go, Steelers.